Hi everybody. If you are in the UK, this video is more for you. Sorry, if you're in the US, it is for you, but you just wouldn't be able to bid on the things that I'm going to be showing you. And somebody's sending me a message. Why is it? The minute I always pick up the camera to film, somebody sent me a message. Actually, this one is a reminder that Crochet Rocks is doing her beginners classes for crochet. So if you are an absolute beginner, I suggest you go over there. She's a UK YouTube subscriber. Well, not a subscriber, what am I talking about? YouTube, well, she makes YouTube videos anyway. Anyway, she's been doing these absolutely super basic learn to crochet videos. So if you're still at the sort of stage where you want to learn but you don't know how, Crochet Rocks, R-O-C-K-S, Crochet Rocks. Go watch her videos, yeah. What am I going to show you today? Well, if you're in the UK, you've got one more day roughly to bid on the wool that I've got on eBay. And I tell you what, if it wasn't mine and I didn't own it, I would be bidding on it because they're rock bottom prices. Couldn't go any lower if I tried. And I'm so surprised that nobody's bidding on it. There's nobody knitting or crocheting at the moment, or what's happening. Anyway, I'll show you the close-ups of them. This one is beautiful colours, and there's no bids whatsoever on this at the moment. No bids at all. Don't know why. Beautiful wool. Look at the colours on that. Isn't that gorgeous? I've got 4 100 grams of that. It would make a fantastic vest or scarf, cowl, hats, whatever. It's sort of, I think, roughly an Aran-ish kind of weight, but isn't that glorious? Look at the colours on that. How can anybody turn that round? I tell you, if it doesn't sell, I'm keeping it. What else have I got in here? This again has got no bids on it, and it's really cheap. It's an ice yarn, and it's a bit deeper than it's showing on the camera. It's only a fine yarn. If you're into crochet, it would be lovely. They call it swirl. And there's 8 of those, 850 grams, but it would go such a long way because it's very fine. No bids on that one at all. Why? Who knows? This one's got a couple of bids on it. It's beautiful ice yarn. Again, it's fine. And it's got a tremendous yardage on this. Absolutely fabulous yardage on it. 250 metres. I've got 3 balls of it. But just think what you could make with all that yarn. Yeah, all that yarn. There is a couple of bids on that, but again, quite lowish bids. Right, let's have another look what's in my little bag here. No bids on this one. Gorgeous. Ice yarn. Beautiful texture. Beautiful texture. It's sort of like, I call it a winter white or a cream shade. Again, it's an ice yarn. And there's 750 grams. That would make a lovely hat and scarf set, wouldn't it? Or you probably could even get a little vest out of it. Yeah. They call it Sail, Winter, Cream and Black. They're very descriptive with their descriptions, aren't they, when they're ice? Yeah. Again, no bids on that. This, again, I have just reduced and no bids. Beautiful texture, harmony yarn. Beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the colours on that. It's a beautiful sort of textured yarn. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 800 grams of that. No bids on it. At the moment, no bids. So if you're interested, hurry up, bid. You know, I'm giving this yarn away, practically giving it away. This one isn't, it's going to go in with the wool, but it isn't the actual one I'm selling. I've got 15 of these, but Rosie got this one. Or there would have been 16. Again, it's an ice yarn chunky, beautiful colours. One bid on that. I think there's 16 balls of it, and I think at the moment it's £10. It's a steal, honestly, steal. But that will be going in with it, but it isn't part of it, because the rest of it is nicely bagged up. Rosie didn't get to that. Rosie has a passion for my wool, or yarn, or whatever you want to call it. I call it wool. And she thinks it's a huge game to charge all around the garden with it, yeah. Hugely hilarious, yeah. This one, I think there's one bid on this. Again, it's very low price. It's lovely. It's got like dangles on it, and it makes a gorgeous scarf or cowl or whatever. And there's, I think there's 8 of those. Again, absolutely low price. Got one bid, I think. There's only one day left. I'm going to be sending this out for peanuts, you know what I mean? This one is beautiful. I made a shawl with that. Once again, it's an ice yarn. There's only 4 balls of it, but it's got a really, really good yardage. And I think I made a virus shawl with either 4 or 5 of these. Look at the colours on it. It's got like mulberries and greens and creams. It's called Fiona Mohair, although it doesn't have an awful lot of mohair. Excuse me. Still got the cough. It does have some mohair in it. This one's got a few bids on it. I'm actually knitting with a different colour of this. This is fantastic. Lovely yarn. It's Wendy. They don't do it anymore. It's called Moiselle. It's got silky ribbony bits in it, slubby bits in it. I will show you what I'm knitting with it afterwards. That has got a couple of bids on it, but again, very low price. This has no bids on it whatsoever, probably because a couple of the balls have got no labels. But they are full 50-gram balls. And it's Peyton's Cotton Top. It's in a gorgeous, delicate lemon shade. It's hand washed, but it's 100% cotton. And it's got like a little bit of a texture to it. It is actually vintage yarn, so you wouldn't be able to buy this again at any price. Once again, no bids. What are we up to now? This has got quite a few fair bids on it. I think there's about six 100-gram balls of this. It's like a teddy bear yarn, like a chenille. Yeah, this has got bids on it, so this will definitely sell. This has got a couple of bids on it, but it's beautiful, beautiful. Ice yarn chunky. Look at the colours on that, aren't they gorgeous? Look at those. If I could think of something to make with this, I would keep it, but honestly, I cannot make hats and scarves forever, can I? You know what I mean? Oh, excuse me, coffee at you. This has got no bids on it, and I'm so surprised because it's beautiful. And it's purple, yeah? Look at that. That's gorgeous again. Ice yarn it is. I think there's 6 or 8 of those. Aren't the colours beautiful? I'm so tempted to pull that off sale. If it does not sell, I am not reducing it. I'm going to pull it off sale. This one here has also got no bids, and yet it's lovely. It's like a dark sort of orangey colour with white. It's again an ice yarn. Look at that, beautiful. They call it eyelash, but it isn't really. It's just got a fuzz on it. What do they call it? A halo. Once again, no bids. This has got a couple of bids on it, so this will sell. Although, you know, for, like I say, a very low price. That's eyelash again. He wants its eyes yarn again. Beautiful colours. Look at those colours. And what's not in this bag actually is this. I've got some pink cotton stuff, which is it is cotton, and I bought it without labels, and it says it's Italian, and it is gorgeous, honestly. No big. And I don't know whether this has got any bids. If not, it should have. Yeah, this is called Cotton Bright. It's a beautiful, honestly beautiful yarn. Do you know, if that was me looking for yarn and I was on eBay, I'd be snapping all this up. I'd be thinking, why is this lady selling it all so cheap? This lady wants the room in her shed, that's why she's selling it this cheap, otherwise she'd be hanging on to it, I tell you. No way. No, I don't know where the pale pink is, but if you go on my eBay page, I keep saying Etsy and it's not, eBay page, then you will be able to see bargain prices, girls, bargain, and boys, bargain prices. I have actually finished the cardigan. I've been knitting for about a year, no, not quite, a couple of months. Finished it, but it needs buttons on it. I've made this design many times before. It's a very old pattern from a magazine from Woman, and the whole magazine I think cost about 1 and 6 or something like that, or 40 pence or something. It needs buttons on it, but it is finished. And this is in the ice yarn. This was in the fragrant ice yarn that Kelly hated the smell of. Talking about Kelly, she's made a video. Look for Kelly Robinson, she's made herself a video, yeah, explaining where she's been and what's been happening in her life, yeah. So the rumours are not true, she has not left the country, she's still here. Right, this is what I am knitting with my Wendy Moiselle. That's my colour of it, isn't it? It's just fantastic. Wendy's no more, Moiselle is no more. So those 4 balls I've got. Snap them up, girls, snap them up. That's what I'm making. As you can see, it's a textured yarn. And it knits up absolutely fantastically. I'm making a very old pattern. So please don't ask me. I made it when I was at school. I made it in navy blue for my school uniform. Not when I was in the younger years, because you had to stick strictly to school uniform when you were in the younger years. But once you got into what we would call our 6th form, I don't know what grade that is these days, but it was our 6th form. I would be about 17 years of age, and you can see the tatty state of my pattern. And we were laughing at this because the pattern actually cost 4 pence. And that's not 4 pence, that's 4D. You know, 4 pence in the old money. Look at the state of that pattern. And you know I love it. I've made it twice this year, actually, I've made it. So that's what I'm knitting. Yes, knitting at the moment. I have also got some books on sale. Really cheap if you think how much they cost on Amazon. That one is 20 easy crochet projects for children, toddlers. That's just some of the ones that are on it. I have put a lot of pictures on my, eBay site showing what's in it. I think that's reduced to something like $3.99 when I probably paid about 12 quid for it. This one is Kids Crochet, Sweaters for Infants, Boys and Girls, Annie Smith. Again, this is on sale on my eBay. As I say, no idea why people don't want them. I don't want them anymore because I haven't got little ones to crochet for. And I don't really crochet things to sell anymore, so there's pointless me keeping them. This one's Crochet at Play. It's fun hats, scarves and clothes for people to enjoy. Once again, I think this is $3.99 or something. There's some beautiful little patterns in there if you've got kiddies. I think it goes up to about 3 or 4 years. Although some of them go up to 6 years. Yeah. You know, there's some really sort of lovely patterns in there, yeah. I mean, that is so cute. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Little wrap around, yeah. You know, if I had kiddies to knit for, I wish I did, but I don't anymore. I mean, they're so... I mean, look at the cape. That is such a funny... Like a dress up. What kiddie wouldn't like to be dressed up in that, whirling round the garden, you know? And this one I bought, this is brand new. I bought it, decided it was out of my comfort zone. I think this I've got on for about $4.99. I paid about £16 for the book. And that's the price it is on Amazon. You know, if you're an adept crocheter. I just decided that I would not make anything out of it. And it was pointless me keeping it. But as you can see, it's absolutely brand pristine new. All I've done is look at it, yeah. And that's, I think it's about $4.99 or something like that on the... And I'm sure I paid about £16 for it, yeah. This is what I want to tackle next. I bought this pattern. That's why it's a PDF. I bought this pattern on on Etsy. I don't know whether you can see or not. It's like the chevron pattern. It's in 4-ply, which is like the fingering weight if you're in America. And it says it's a Debbie Bliss pattern, but I'm sure actually it was a 3rd eye pattern originally. I want to try and work it up. Probably not as long as this because I don't have the yarn. Probably make a shorty version of the wool that I got from Daniel. You know, 4-ply designs. I want to make something really special with it that I will use and wear, and you know, I could have made a shawl with it, but I'm limited to the amount of times I wear a shawl. And I'm not one that really wears one that wraps around my neck when I'm going out, because I'm always on my scooter anyway. And I tend to be zipped up with a hood when I'm on my scooter in the winter. There's no room for shawls and fripperies and everything like that. But I decided I would wear a cardigan, yeah. So I'm going to try and incorporate all the colours, if you remember, all the gorgeous colours he sent me. But it probably will be a shorty cardigan because it definitely haven't got enough to do the long length one. So yeah, I have been watching a lady called Stevie by the Sea. She's a little bit eccentric, but she does make some lovely cardigans, and they are in this sort of feather and fan, but of course she uses much heavier yarn when she makes hers. And she's also got a fabulous like Harry Styles sort of inspired cardigan, but instead of doing all the bright colours with the squares that like he wore, she does all hers in pastel colours, and they're all bubbles. She keeps saying she's going to make a tutorial, but she never does. So you just have to wing it, you know what I mean? It's all a question really of measuring yourself, isn't it? Measuring how big your squares are and making the squares appropriate sizes to work out. You know, say for example you were 20 inches across the back and your squares were 4 inches, you'd need like 5 squares going across, wouldn't you, to make the 20? Same with the length, you'd need to... But you need to make them square and not funny shapes. And you need to make sure all your squares are the same tension and they are the same size, which I know some ladies have difficulty with. You know, making the squares all the same size. Believe me, I've seen some horrors on, you know, Ravelry or wherever and things like that, pictures where people have made granny square blankets and all their granny squares are different sizes. And unless you plan it that way, that you've got some oblongs and some whatever, unless it's planned that way, you really do need to make sure all your granny squares are the same size. Yeah? Anyway, that's about all I've got to say really. I should have been going out today, but my friend that I usually go out to lunch with, one of them has gone to London for a week's holiday, can't blame her. And the other one has taken a small boy out because it's kind of like his last week before he starts school again. So they've gone out somewhere. Her and her husband have gone and taken him out somewhere, yeah. So, I'm like Billy No Mates today. I should go in the shed. I should find something else to do. But I'm just lacking in inspiration, yeah. All the wool that I sewed has finally gone out to the post office. And now it's in the lap of the gods because, as you know, the postal strike, well, if you're in the UK, you know the post keeps going on strike. So I've done my bit, I've sent it off. And if any of this sells in the next couple of days, well, some of it has got bids on it. I think there's about 9 of them have got bids on. I'll be going up to the post office again, if they're open. You have to choose your moments here, don't you? Yeah. So anyway, that's about it, really. I need to see what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. Maybe I'll do a bit more knitting. Maybe I'll go into the shed and find some buttons for the cream cardigan, and then I can show you a proper photograph of it finished. But as I say, the pattern is as old as the hills. I have a knack of vintage patterns, really. I like them better. I understand them better. I do not like these patterns that are modern, which are like 29 pages long. They tell you everything but the kitchen sink, and every bit of it has got a photograph. I'm sorry, but I'm not that dim, you know. If you're the kind of person who needs that kind of help, fine, fair enough. But I'm the kind of person who just needs you to say, chain 65, and do so many rows of double crochet, trebles, whatever. Fine, that's my kind of pattern. I do not like this. You know, go all across there, making one in every one, and then do the second row the same. No. No. I don't want nannying. I don't want babying along. I can understand if you're a beginner, how you need a YouTube tutorial for everything you make. But do think, sort of plan for your future. Don't rely on YouTube tutorials for everything that you're doing, because you're going to be very limited in what you can actually crochet or make. Do try to read a crochet pattern. If you don't understand something, there is always someone who will help you. Always someone who will read it out and say, this is what it means. So I hear so many people who say, oh, I can't read a crochet pattern, no, I can't do it. You can. You can. Sit quietly. Read it through. Anything you don't understand, you ask someone, yeah? Then you can read and you can do anything you like. You can see patterns, you can buy patterns, you can go in a shop, buy a beautiful pattern and make it. You don't have to rely on somebody on YouTube doing a tutorial. Because in that way, you're wearing the same thing that several thousand people are making. If you're like me, I'm an individual. I like to be different. I like to make things that are me. My style, my colour, my designs, whatever. If I see somebody that like 7,000 people have made, I think, no, I don't want that. I don't want to look like everybody else. You know? Maybe it's just the way I am. I've always been the same since I was a kiddie. I used to make my own clothes when I used to sew, purely because when I went out dancing, I didn't want to be dancing next to somebody wearing the same dress. My mother used to say to me, oh, you know, copying is the sincerest form of flattery. And I used to say, no, copying means that they can't think out of the box, yeah? That they have to just copy what I've got, the same colour, the same style, the same everything. If I saw somebody doing that, I wouldn't wear mine anymore, I would get rid of it. I know, I'm funny that way. Which is why everything I have is that little bit different than everybody else's. It's just the way I am. I've always been a bit hippie, boho, whatever you want to call it. Out of step with the rest of the world. I love people like, there's Ari Seth Cohen who's got these books where he finds these beautiful older ladies from about 70 or 80 years old who dress in the most flamboyant clothes. And I'm like, that's me. That's me. Beige does not touch my wardrobe. Cream, maybe, to go with something that's brightly coloured. But the thought of me wearing a beige top and a beige skirt or beige trousers, like, oh, no. And I always have to wear something bold. My bold necklaces, my bold top, whatever it is. This one's got beads, sequins, whatever you want to call them, all around it. Look at that, yeah. I'm the kind of old lady that people will go, oh my God, what's she wearing now? What is she wearing now? And yet people do often stop me and say, oh, I love what you're wearing. I mean, yesterday I had on an indigo moon jacket. It's black velvet and it's got the most fantastic appliques, all with beads and sequins and everything. And the number of people who stopped me and said, oh, what a fantastic jacket. But then they say, it looks so good on you, but I couldn't wear it. And I'm like, why not? What's stopping you? If you like my jacket and you think it looks fantastic on me, what is stopping you wearing it? Yeah. I've just ordered another one, don't tell anybody, off eBay, because I can't afford them new. They're about £100 new, I can't afford them new. And it's going to be purple. I'll show you when it comes. Got to be purple, got to be Jan's colour. And that's got appliques all over it in purple. And I'm like, don't have a purple one. Shouldn't be spending any more money because I've still got to finish paying for this flipping folding scooter. The reason I'm getting rid of a lot of my wool is because I'm going to Yarndale in September. Yarndale is not like the US, oh hello, US big massive yarn whatever, it's not like that. It's hand dyed mostly, little bits and pieces that they sell that's to do with knitting or crocheting, yeah, mostly knitting. And it's held in a cattle market, the cattle out there, but it's held in a cattle market. I presume they scrub it all out first, you know. We don't want to be stepping in anything, you know. Anyway, that's where I'm going in September, the end of September. So I wanted a little bit of spending money to take with me. That wouldn't be like coming out of my bank account, you know, just like money that, man money, what do you call it? What do you call it? Seed money, don't they? Egg money or something you call it in the States. Just a bit of, you know, readies. I'm not saying I'm going to buy any wool, but there will be other things there. Plus, you know, I've got to pay, I've paid, but I've got to repay myself the coach and the ticket money to go in there. And then, of course, I'm going to be having my lunch while I'm out there, some snacks or whatever, and some drinks, you know. I don't mean alcoholic drinks, I'm just talking drinks, especially if it's warm. You want lots and lots of hydration, don't you? So I didn't want to be spending my own money, if you know what I mean. Hence, I'm having the Etsy sale. This won't be, if you miss on this sale, if you miss, keep your eyes peeled because I will be doing some more. There's a lot more in my shed that I'm going to part with, reluctantly. With tears in my heart, I'm parting with some of my beautiful, beautiful yarns that I have collected. But I have to be realistic. I'm 77 in a couple of months' time, and realistically speaking, there is more yarn in that shed than I can ever crochet up in my lifetime, yeah? So I have to be ruthless and say, look, take a good look, Janet. Are you ever going to use this? And I'm not in this financial situation where I can give it away. Sorry, I'm not. Can't have giveaways. Because giveaways, people always win them in America. So for me to give something away, it would cost me about $20, because that would be the postage cost, you know, so sorry about that. Have to look after number one these days. You know, all the fuel bills are going up massively in the UK. You know, you have to think of ways of cutting down, ways of raking some extra cash in from some place or another. Otherwise, we're all going to be sitting freezing, you know. I've been looking at thermal things, you know, on, not to buy just at the moment, but thermal things, sleeping bags,